Hey everybody, Cptn.Canuck here, and today there's some interesting news. Just as we were talking about what will fill the DPC power vacuum, ESL swoops in and announces their ESL Pro Tour. Now, the ESL Pro Tour is going to consist of a number of events over the next few years, namely Dream League Season 1, which actually already occurred back in September, the upcoming ESL 1 Kuala Lumpur, Dream League Season 22 in February, ESL EU in April, Dream League Season 23 in May, and then a mystery event in July with no announced location, date, or prize pool. Now, each of the events above have a $1 million prize pool, except for this mystery event. We don't know what it is. We don't know, maybe it's going to tie into Riyadh next year, or maybe it's another thing that ESL is doing. But they've provided some guidelines around the way that invites are going to be handled this year. There's going to be a mix of EPT point leaders, which I'll talk about in a second, and then closed qualifiers. There's some TBD slot allocations likely determined by regional strength. They'll figure that out as time goes on, where they're going to give those extra slots to. But it's caused a little bit of controversy already. Namely, Celery from Game & Gladiators called it out in a tweet, calling the leaderboard one of the worst he's seen, and probably for good reason. So far, it only considers ESL events, beginning with this most recent Dream League, which means that there's no consideration for TI or other major events like Riyadh or other majors throughout last year. Game & Gladiators, despite being second at TI, are fifth in these rankings, meaning that they won't qualify for the first ESL event automatically because it only invites the top four, currently Team Spirit, BetBoom, OG, and Entity. Liquid, despite being second at almost every major event last season and placing really well at TI, are behind Game & Gladiators at 7th on this leaderboard ranking and are obviously going to have to fight their way through a qualifier. Now, as Dream League Season 21 was a Western Europe event, no Chinese teams were present, and only one North America, South America, and SEA team were present. So currently, every team on the leaderboard are Eastern EU or Western EU, reinforcing this idea that I've talked about over the last few videos about Europe becoming the dominant force in this season. Now, there's been some other criticisms as well. Knoxville responded to Celery's tweet mentioning that the ranking method is really poor, as it only considers final placement and ignores the actual matchups that occur throughout the state of an event, and continued on to say that the Glico 2 system, which he's been an advocate for a long time, would be more ideal, but he also acknowledged that it requires a bit stricter roster controls to maintain a high-quality indicator of skill. Now, this whole system is going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays out. Right now, as we're heading into Kuala Lumpur, there's going to be a lot on the line for these first few teams, and ESL is poised to kind of take over this entire DPC system, but as you can see, it's very focused in Europe and on the teams that are participating in ESL's ecosystem and nothing else. So, lots of opportunities for this to kind of maybe go awry, but also really exciting and new. It's a new system for us to engage in. ESL is known to host quality tournaments, and people really respect them as an event organizer. So, I think it could go either way. Let me know what you think down below. Is the EPT really what Dota needs this season? Is the EPT point system flawed, and how would you make it better? And how do you think this will impact teams that want to compete in other third-party events? If something's off of this ESL Pro Tour, like Riyadh or something, how do you think people are going to weigh the choices of what to participate in? And also, how does this impact the Tier 2 scene? Like, there's no announced open qualifiers or minor equivalents, so basically everything is just going to be closed qualifiers and invites. So if you're not perceived to be a strong team, you might just be shit out of luck this year. So, yeah, I think there's a lot that could go wrong here, but, it's exciting at the same time. Let me know what you think down below, and as always, leave a like, subscribe. Love you all. You're beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.